Hello, I'm Helen and welcome to our classroom. I love coming to the beach at any time of year, sometimes with bright blue sky and the sun shining, or other days like today where it's a bit cooler and a bit greyer and it's damp. Claire and I, more about Claire in a moment, would love to welcome you to our beach classroom here. But as that isn't possible, we've decided to bring the beach to you with our virtual 2-minute beach school. It's part of the 2-minute foundation, but more about that from Claire in just a few moments. We're going to be with you for the next few weeks over this period of lockdown. You can follow our sessions online and you can download them from our website as well. We're really delighted that you're here with us today. Over to Claire, who's out on the beach.
Thanks, Helen. Hi guys, my name's Claire and I'm here today to tell you all about this beautiful beach. And as Helen said, this is my favourite beach and I come here every single day. Sometimes just for a dog walk, sometimes I come here to go for a surf, but sometimes I like to just come and sit and listen to the beautiful waves. But do you know what my favourite thing to do on the beach is? A beach clean, and I can't wait to tell you how a little bit later on. But in the meantime, should we see what Helen's been up to in the classroom?
So what's your favourite thing to do when you come to the beach? There's lots of things that we're going to be showing you over the next few weeks, and hopefully you'll have fun joining in with those activities. So in our first session here today, our aim is to identify beach features, geographical features. We're going to be watching a video about the beach. We're going to be looking for some geographical features. We're going to be drawing a picture, and then you can send a picture through to us. And those are all the things that we're going to be covering today. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be heading out onto the beach and we're going to be identifying some geographical features. Let's go and find Claire, who's been already starting to do this. Claire, where are you?
I'm here! Now, if you remember what Helen was just saying, today we are looking for geographical beach features. I wonder how many of them you already know. Sand, rock pools, pebbles, cliffs, strand line, sea defences, the river, the sea, waves and tides. Did you get them all?
Yeah, hi Claire, I'm absolutely exhausted. You're going so quickly. I can't possibly keep up with you there.
Sorry, I did get a little bit overexcited, didn't I? Let's go a little bit slower. Come on.
So we have sand. Have you ever noticed something about the sand? Sometimes the sand is really dry and really fine. Other times it's muddy and grey and lumpy. And that really depends how far up the beach that sand is and really how often it's covered by the tide. So you can notice those different things about the sand when you come to the beach.
And we have rocks and rock pools.
We also have the rock pools here. And the rock pools are all different shapes and sizes. So we have rock pools that are big and large and deep and lots of water in them, and then we have rock pools that are tiny, and we have our nursery rock pools. It will be really great when we can show you this all on the beach when you can come and see us in the summer.
Guys, I can't wait to bring you to the beach and show you all of the cool creatures that live in these rock pools. And this here is our strand line, and I'm going to explain to you what that is a little bit later on. And I love jumping on pebbles because I love the sound they make.
I always look at the pebbles and I kind of feel them, and I look at them and think, what on earth made them that sort of shape? So we've got one that's almost a heart shape here. We've got one here that's actually like a circle shape, and it feels really smooth. I wonder what other pebbles I've got here. This one, that's almost like a sphere. And again, the tide has washed over the pebbles to create those different shapes. And we have small pebbles, and then we have our larger pebbles here on the beach as well.
What have I forgotten? I remember. The sea, the waves and the tides. How could I have forgotten? I'm going to go have fun splashing around for a little while we go back to Helen in the classroom.
Thanks, Claire, what great fun. So how many tides are there in a day? How often does it come up the beach? How high does it come up the beach? It's all governed by science. There's an awful lot of science that goes behind the tides. Sometimes the tide comes a long way up the beach. It's a really high tide. Other times it doesn't come very far up the beach at all. How many times a day does that tide come in and out? Do you know? It doesn't matter if you don't. And do you know what? The other day someone was telling me that the tides were governed by the moon. So then I got a little bit confused because of course we only have one moon, but the tide comes up twice a day for most days. The tide does something what we call ebb and flow. So it flows up the beach and it ebbs back. Have you heard of those words before? Let's see what Claire's going to show us next.
I'm here, Helen. I'm just showing you our river. Do you know where it goes? That's right, it goes straight to the sea. It changes path and direction and it always finds the easiest route to the ocean, but more about that another week.
So there's a couple of features that we've not talked about. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to invite Claire into our classroom, yes, here into our classroom, to talk about a few more of the features. Claire! Hi Claire.
Hi Helen.
I really need your help.
Sure, what can I do?
Well, there's some features that we've not managed to find, and I know you found quite a few out on the beach, but there's some here, right here in the classroom that I'd love you to help us find. Can you do that, please?
Absolutely.
Brilliant, thanks. So the first one, what's that over there?
Okay, so that is a sea defence, and these are really, really important parts of our beaches. So the ocean out there has got so much power behind the waves, and every time it comes in, it gets a bit more power, and sometimes it just needs something really strong to slow it down, and that's what these sea defences do for us. If they weren't there, all of the power from those waves would come in, and they'd go all over the roads and the houses, so the walls break down that power, slow down the waves, so that it's not so big of a problem for us.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Claire. That's great.
Yeah, no worries. You've got loads of beach features in your classroom. What else have you got here?
Well, you can see behind me, Claire, we've got the cliffs here. So many of the beaches in North Cornwall have the cliffs going down into the sea. And you can see that the cliffs have got different colours, different shapes. And you might have seen or heard about when the cliffs actually erode and there is a cliff fall. When you come and see us in the summer, you'll be able to learn all about the cliffs and why these things happen.
So you've got so many different geographical beach features in your classroom and there's loads more back out there. I'm going to head out there. Why don't you do a recap with the kids and I'll see you in a bit.
Thanks for your help, Claire. How are you doing at home? Can you give us a thumbs up if you're okay? Have you seen how great our beach classroom is? We're going to spend a few minutes just recapping about what we've been learning. Let's have a look at the photos here on our PowerPoint. What we're going to do is we're going to hunt for features. On this first photograph, how many have we got? Let's have a look. We've got the sand, we've got the rock pools, we've got pebbles, we've got the river, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's have a look at the next photograph. Yeah, okay, so here we've got the tide, the strand line, the cliffs. Wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 8. I've got 8 features. How many of you got at home? Fantastic job, everybody. We'll come back to it in a few moments. Let's now go back to Claire. Claire, where are you?
I'm here, Helen, and I've got something really exciting to explain to you all. So about 9 years ago, a local guy called Martin was out there having a surf, and when he came onto the beach, he noticed there was loads of plastic all over the floor. And he thought to himself, that's not good, what can we do about it? And we created these litter picking stations. Now we've now got 900 of these over the UK, which is so cool. Maybe you've got one on your local beach. Maybe you've even used one. Now I use this one every day when I come to the beach to do a beach clean, and I'm going to show you how. First of all, we're going to take ourselves a litter picker. Then we're going to take a bag from here and let's go do a beach clean.
If you think about your local beach, do you have one of these? Have you seen one on your local beach? If you have, next time you're out there, maybe you want to use it. Grab the stuff and go and do a 2-minute beach clean.
So we're now here on the strand line. Do you know what a strand line is? Do you know how to identify one? Let me help you. So why does it look a little bit different here than it does here? Now that's right. That's because of the driftwood and the seaweed, and that's how we know it's our strand line. Now the strand line is the highest point of the tide. So last night when we had a high tide, this is where the water came to, and it's always here that we find the most amount of plastics. So let's go do a 2-minute beach clean. Disposable mask. Tissue. Loads of rope. Woo! That was a really fun 2-minute beach clean. Should we see what we found? Let's see what we got in here. Plastic bottles. We always find a lot of those. Loads and loads of rope. Now this often comes from the fishing boats that fish just offshore here in Cornwall. We get quite a lot of this, unfortunately. Plastic bags, we all know how bad they are. What else have we got in here? Some big polystyrene. What else have we got? More plastic bags. This looks a bit like food wrapping, that one does. Oh yeah, some more food wrappings too. And talking of food, got a plastic spoon here and a drinks can, plus loads more. I think that was a really good 2-minute beach clean. Now these disposable masks, I could go on, but I'll stop there. Helen, what do you reckon? A good use of 2 minutes?
Wow, isn't it amazing what you can get in 2 minutes? That's a great job, Claire. And I love your gloves as well.
Thanks, yes, guys. Now it would be great if you wanted to go out and do a 2-minute beach clean next time you come to the beach, but you'll see I have got some special equipment with me. I've got a litter picker that I borrowed from our litter picking station. I've got a bag that I borrowed from the litter picking station, but I'm wearing gloves, and it's really important that you do that just to keep your hands safe from all the nasty things that you might pick up. Right, I'm off to go and recycle this, Helen. Over to you, and I'll be back with you soon.
Wow, Claire's been really busy. So great thanks to Claire and all those volunteer beach and street cleaners out there. There's so much rubbish that's been collected. What happens to that rubbish? How does it start to biodegrade? What does that actually mean? Do you know? Absolutely. It means to decompose, to break down and to rot. Do you know that plastic never actually decomposes? It just breaks down into smaller and smaller bits and eventually becomes what's called nanoplastics. Imagine that the plastic never actually breaks down. Let's have a look at 4 items in particular that Claire found there on her beach clean. We've got one here. So we've got our drinks can. We've got our plastic bottle. We've got our tissues and we've got our bag. So let's just think about this plastic bottle for a minute. I wonder if anybody knows how long it takes for that plastic bottle to actually decompose. Do you know that this plastic is still going to be here when you've grown up, when your children have grown up, when your grandchildren have grown up? Wow, that's an awful long time, isn't it, for this plastic bottle still to be here? 450 years, they estimate. And then we've got our tin can. Any ideas how long that might take to break down? So they say around 80 to 200 years for that tin to go. And then our plastic bags, so some of us probably use quite a lot of these. And our plastic bag around 10 to 20 years. Can you imagine even that? Where are we all going to be? Where are we going to be? What are we going to be doing in 10 years' time? And then our tissue here, that will probably take around 1 to 3 years to break down. I wonder if we can work out why there's such a difference between how long it takes for that to break down and how long it takes for that to break down. We'll come back to that at another time. Maybe when you come and see us on the beach in the summer, we'll be able to talk about that in more detail. But we're going to try and put all these items that Claire's found into a timeline. She's going to need your help. Let's go and find her.
Right guys, let's go. I think I'm going to need your help with this one.
So you can have a go at home. If you've printed off the pictures, you can use those. If you haven't, that doesn't matter. That's absolutely fine. So, what should be at the top? Let's have a little think. Which takes the longest? Shall we go and have a see how Claire's getting on with hers? She's got some bits wrong. The top one's right. Claire, Claire, the top one's right, that's okay. What about the others? Oh, look children, she's having another go. How are you getting on at home with it? Have you managed to sort out where those pictures go? Oh, look, she's finished. Let's have a look at what she's been doing. So I think, yeah, she's got the first 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's got the first 5 right. Claire, that's brilliant, you got 5 right. Let's give her another 10 seconds to see how many more she can get right. How's she doing? Is that 10 seconds? That was 10 seconds, I'm sure. Brilliant, Claire. That's fantastic. Well done. She's got it right. How did you get on at home? Don't worry whether you got it right or whether you got it wrong. When you come to the beach in the summer, we'll be able to talk much more about all of these things and what order we should be putting them in. That's great. Well done, Claire. So on to the next activity. For this, you're going to need some paper and pens because it's going to be over to you. We're actually now going to be doing a drawing of our beach or any beach that you choose. And the idea is that you label the drawing as well with some of these geographical features that we've been finding today. Don't worry if you can't spell things just right, just have a go. I'm also going to draw at the same time, and so's Claire out on our beach. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes. Now, why 2 minutes? What's that all about? Can you remember? Absolutely. It's because we're part of the 2-minute foundation. So, have you got your pens and have you got your paper? Yes? Brilliant. I'm now going to pick up my pens and paper, so bear with me. Okay. Here we go. Right, so are you ready? We've got the 2 minutes, off we go. The first thing that I'm going to draw, I think, is my cliffs that come down into the sea. So I'm going to have quite a steep cliff there. And then I'm going to have the sea that's coming up to the cliffs. Oh, now what's our beach feature? What was it? Oh, yes, I remember. It was tides, wasn't it? I've got to see if I can remember how to spell tides, right? So I've done that. Oh, I'm going to do some rocks. Now, I haven't got many colours here, and that's absolutely fine. So I'm just going to draw a red rock here. It's quite a big rock, actually, but that's okay. I quite like that. So I've got lots of different things. How are you getting on at home? So, I've got a nice big rock there. Now, what else did we see? So we saw some big rocks and then, oh, those little ones. Claire picked them up. She jumped on them, didn't she? Yes, I remember pebbles. So I'm going to do a few pebbles here. That's good. Pebbles. What does pebbles, how do I spell that? P-E-B-B-L-E-S, yep, that's my pebbles there, okay. Now, over by the cliffs in our classroom, I had something else. Now, what on earth was that called? I remember sea defences. I'm running out of colours. You know, my sea defence is going to have to be green, and that doesn't matter. So if you haven't got a lot of colours, don't worry about it. How do I draw a sea defence? There we go. I'm going to draw a nice big sort of defence against the cliff here, and that helps when the sea comes up, doesn't it? So I've got that there. Now, when we looked in the rock pools, there was lots of creatures and there was seaweed, wasn't there? So let's have I'm going to have a rock pool here, and I'm going to have a little creature here. Yeah, and that's my picture. Wow! 2 minutes, didn't that go quickly? I wonder how much you've managed to achieve at home in your 2 minutes. So we'd love to see your pictures. Email them through to us. I'm having loads of fun here, but of course Claire can't send us her picture because she's actually using the beach. Let's have a little recap about what we've been doing with our picture. This is my picture here. One thing that I really like about my picture is the way that I've done the cliffs. I think they really represent this beach here. One thing that I think I could do a little bit better, I think I've done the tide, just here, a little bit too far up. And one thing that I've learnt, well, I've learnt that next time perhaps that I need some different colours to make my picture look a little bit better. Let's go over to Claire to have a look at hers.
Thanks, Helen. I've tried to show a picture of our beach here, and I think my river looks really cool. But my rocks, they just look a little bit like circles. Not so happy with them.
It's a great effort, Claire. That's wonderful, thank you. So don't worry if you haven't finished. You can now spend some more time finishing your drawing, and don't forget, we'd love to see them, and hopefully in future weeks we'll be able to look at them here on the video.
It's been such a fab day, guys, having you at the beach with us today, and I've really enjoyed showing you around. Can you remember what we found? We found some rocks and some rock pools.
And we found some sand and the strand line.
We went and saw the river and the sea.
Oh, and the cliffs and the sea defences.
If you've really enjoyed your lesson today and if you'd love doing some drawing, you could always enter our poster competition. Helen, why don't you tell them some more about that?
Thanks, Claire. We'd love you to make a poster about doing a 2-minute street clean, 2-minute beach clean, stick it in your window to encourage your neighbours to get involved, and then send us a photograph of your poster. The winner will be chosen by members of the 2-Minute Foundation. Then the winning design will be made up into a big poster here in our beach hut.
Awesome. Well, we're nearly at the end of the lesson, so I'm going to go off and do another 2-minute beach clean. Helen, what are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to tidy up my beach classroom here to make sure that I don't leave anything on the beach that I shouldn't do.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We hope you've really enjoyed this, and we will see you again next week for some more 2-minute beach school. Don't forget to send us a picture of your drawings, and we will see you again.
Bye, see you next week.
Bye.